right, anything from the state before we bring the jury in?
No, Your Honor, other than we have put 98, 98A, and 98B on a flash drive. I've given a duplicate to the defense because it's easier to read on there, so this one will be for the jury.
All right. Anything from the defense before we bring the jury in?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring the jury in.
Do we need to attend some of that? Do you have one or?
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise I can learn this afternoon. Your Honor, would you like me to replace the, well, I'll label this also as exhibits 98 A and B, or I'm not sure how to. Well, I mean, I guess we can figure that out later because we'll be projecting the digital version, which I think is more clear, and that's what's on here. And then
I want to apologize for keeping you in the jury room for so long, but we did have some matters we needed to address. All right, State, can you continue with your direct examination?
Okay, can you bring up 98 again? Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So this line 8, this, because we did take a long break, can you explain IMGBB.co again for the jury?
IMGBB.co, it's IMGBB.com. It's
Slow down a little bit.
it's a web hosting for images. You can upload an image. It'll create a link to be able to share it.
Do you know whether those links are ever duplicated? In other words, would two, okay, you're answering. So there would not be, say someone uploaded BQHR82R, and then do they have the ability to take it down?
Yes, they can. I believe it can be taken down.
And then if someone else uploaded an image, would that file name ever be reused?
No.
So looking at line 8, did you go to that link, 8ibb.co, with that file name?
I did.
Okay. And is that what's depicted in 98A in front of you?
It is.
Your Honor, I would ask that 98A be admitted.
All right, who's good?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
State exhibit 98A, admitted into evidence without objection.
And may it be published, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you. So down here where it says image link, what is that?
Image link, image link is the address, basically the same as the web address. It's the web address for that image and the
So
page.
that's the link that was contained in the text for free text?
Yes, that is.
Can you show the text itself? And then zoom in a little bit. You're making it dirty. Were you able to find this same text conversation on the defendant's phone?
I was.
Is that what's depicted in 98B that you should have in front of you?
It is.
And Your Honor, at this time I would ask that 98B be admitted and published.
We object. Yes, sir, Your Honor. 98B, State's Exhibit 98B is admitted in evidence without objection.
We'll go page by page, just so, let me get it up. All right, so what is this first page of 98B showing you?
This first page is, there's multiple extractions for multiple devices. This is just identifying the device that the information came from.
And so which device did this come from?
This would come from the phone number 513-252-4742 and the IMEI last 5862.
Right, is that, and there's no snake, so is that the defendant's phone?
It is.
Yes?
It is.
Okay. And, okay, no, just the first couple holes. So, and is this, are you able to print out text conversations sort of in different formats from Celebrate? So like this is, I always call it the bubbles,
Yeah.
because I like the bubbles better.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you compare this text conversation in 98B with the one in 98A?
I did.
And they appear to be the same?
They are.
And what is the date of this text conversation?
9/15/2020.
I can. That's just a thing which extraction is on, so that this is Your Honor, if I may approach with State's Exhibit 100. Did you look through the extraction from the defendant's phone to see if there was any, I'll call it IBB or IMGBB activity on her phone?
I did.
Did you see any evidence of such activity on her phone?
I did.
Is that what's depicted in Exhibit 100?
It is.
Is that an excerpt from the full extraction?
It is.
Your Honor, I'd ask that Exhibit 100 be admitted.
Any objection?
That's right, Your Honor.
All right, states Exhibit 100 admitted into evidence without objection.
May it be published, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, can you just explain to the jury what they're looking at?
In the readable format, it puts it, if you'll see where types is, it came from the notes application.
Is that this?
And I'm sorry?
I was just showing, because some jurors are looking over here, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the event is that is the contents within the notes, and this is a list of different IBB.co web pages and web addresses.
I'm sorry. Okay, did you then, does this tell you when that list was created?
9/27/2020, 7/01/56.
And what does the modified date and time mean?
It's whenever the created date was whenever the actual file was created, but the modified could be when it was changed or deleted.
Did you then go to each individual IBB.co link to see what was there?
I did.
For some buttons. Sorry, Your Honor, there are quite a few links. When you went to those individual links, did you create exhibits of each link?
I did.
Your Honor, you see I've been handed a pretty decent number of exhibits. I'll take my best to go through them. I just want to keep everybody away.
But these are simply those links that were provided many years ago, just plugged into a search engine.
Your Honor, just my initial, without going through each one of these, issue with these is there's no date on these documents. I don't know what date this is pretending to have been from.
How are we identifying those?
Your Honor, so that would be 100 A through S, I believe it is. And each exhibit corresponds in order to the IBB.co files that are listed in that notepad.
I just want to make sure I understand, is it the testimony that says created on 9/27/2020, that all of these were created on that date? Is that, is anybody, okay, yeah.
She's just showing you what she's getting ready to show the witness and have them testify to it.
Yeah, Your Honor, unfortunately, there's some things we need to take up outside the presence of the jury based on some here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll excuse you back to the jury room, leave your notepads in the box.
Yes, sir. It appears that from that the testimony is going to be these are all created on 9/27. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Two, as I'm looking through this, there's some protest stuff in here. For instance, ultrasound images and the way those things are discussed related to abortion. And again, I hadn't gone through them all yet, Judge, just to.
We'll go through all of them and let me know what your objections are.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Just bring me the ones that you object to.
Okay, thank you. May I approach, Your Honor?
All right.
Well, they're still my exhibits, so I need to be able to see what you're objecting to. S2 are essentially the same images, but retrieved from the defendant's phone. So it's the same image, it's just showing that these images that were uploaded to IBD, were created on the defendant's phone.
All right. Anything further from the defense before we bring the jury in?
If you want to hear me now on the foundation component, or is she going to try to lay that? She laid the foundation in, Your
She
Honor?
hadn't laid the foundation yet, no.
Just my general objection to it under Rule 403.
All right. Anything further from the state before we bring the jury in?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring the jury in.
Right on the table, so if you get a low connection, and then also the screen is extended, so if it shows up and it looks like it's not showing up on these screens, just turn it to the right.
Not that one.
Oh, it's this one up here. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, it's opposite. This ought to be.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Make sure you have your own note cards. All right, you can continue with direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me just go back to this. So you went over that this shows that it was created on September 27th, modified on 10/2. First of all, what is the significance of the date of October 2nd in this case?
That'd be after the crime.
Pardon me?
Be after the crime.
The date.
The day of the crime.
And then the modified date and the fact that it's showing deleted and trash, what does that mean?
That's most likely, that's when it was modified and the file was moved to the trash.
Now, when in the course of your analysis, review of these items, did you go to each individual IBB.co link?
I did.
Did you create printouts of what you found at each link?
I did.
If someone went to that link today, in all likelihood, would that image still be there?
It will.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to approach with exhibits 100A through 100S. If you can review those, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Are those the printouts that you created from each of those links?
They are.
If we can start with 100A, please.
Wait a minute, is that open in that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Your Honor, I would move for addition of exhibits 100A through 100S. I apologize.
All right, states exhibits 100A through 100S admitted in the evidence of the defendant's objection.
This says created on 9/27. This witness cannot and has not testified to the date those images were actually created. That is not an accurate date in terms of creation of those documents. And he can't be possible for that to be true.
100 active, 100 as, and we'll get into it, so defendant's objection.
Okay, and just to clarify, then create a date, is that for the notepad entry?
Yes, that would be the date that the note was created, not the links.
Okay, so let's, may I publish them, Your Honor? I apologize.
Yes.
100A, please. Okay. So, can you just explain what we're seeing here, and especially the bottom part, if you need us to scroll down, I guess we can do that.
Use my little,
And you can use your pointer,
Use
and
my
that
little pointer.
should show up on all the TVs. I think you have to use, yeah, video.
yeah.
Well, you use that one, it might be easier for you, and it'll show up on all the screens.
Okay. All right. This right here is from the link. If you can, Your Honor, may I stand up and point to the screen?
All right, as long as you got it in your microphone, or the court can pick up the testimony.
This right here is the image link. This is the same as the link that is in the notepad. And this would be the file name. And the embedded code, this is the link in the HTML where you would represent the web page or when you would share the document.
Sorry, I just need to, if I can approach them, or something from different information. Okay. There is, next to the embed codes, well, I'll point over here, you point up there. There's something that says about. Does that have the potential to give you more information about that image?
It does.
Okay, so we can go to the page of this exhibit. Is this the information that comes up when you click that about link?
It is. This is EXIF data, which is,
Can you spell that for the court reporters?
EXIF is EXIF.
Okay. And what does that mean?
It's extra data that is about the image. It's basically data about data. It contains things from the date and time of the original, the manufacturer of the camera, GPS coordinate locations. So when you get that information, you can also go back and even tell, even up to the exposures, whether the flash was on, and just a lot of information about the image itself.
So for 100A, does it first tell you, let's start with the date and time of the original.
The date and time of the original was 9/29/17/01/21.
So September 29th at 5:01, sorry, I have to subtract 12.
That's correct.
Okay. Does this tell you what type of camera took that phone?
It does.
Took that photo, excuse me. What kind?
The manufacturer was Apple, and it was a model iPhone XS Max.
What is the model of the defendant's phone that you extracted?
iPhone XS Max.
Well, I'll go through all these exhibits first, and then we'll just go through the next set. Where applicable, because you have the hard copies, if there is that extra data, just.
Your Honor, may I interrupt that? I just want to go so I can see that. Sorry. Is it okay if I stand up here? Just hold it so I can see your seat.
Just don't
I'm not blocking it. I'm not blocking it.
All right, go ahead.
So if you can go to 100B, and as I said, if you were able to get that extra data, just let us know.
I was.
can you tell us about this image?
This image is also one of the the image link was included in the notes. I can also say that it was the manufacturer of the camera that took this picture was an Apple iPhone XS Max, and the date and time of the original is 9/29 at 17:01:27.
And if you can just, sorry, can you say September 29th in the time? Otherwise, it's like a
September.
whole lot of numbers, and I want to make sure we're getting the date and the time separate.
September 29th.
Okay. Just scroll up to the third page so they can see. Okay. And that's where you were getting that date created and the camera
That is
information?
correct.
Okay. 100C. What can you tell us about this image?
Again, same, this is image link. The image was from the notepad on the device. And again, the manufacturer was an Apple. The model was an iPhone XS Max. And the date and time of the original is September 29th, 17:01:41:2020.
And just to save time, when you are giving us that information, that means that that third page is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 100D.
Also in the notes, this was an Apple iPhone XS Max. This was created on September 29th, 17:01:2020.
I have a lot of demand. I'm going to ask that you wait until the exhibit goes up the first. Sorry. What can you tell us about this?
It's also from the notepad and the link. This was also created with an Apple iPhone XS Max, and it was created on September 29th, 2020 at 17:02.
100F.
Again, this is from the notepad, and this was also created with an Apple iPhone XS Max, and this was created 9/29/17:02/2020, or September 29th, 17:02.
100D.
Again, from the notepad, this is an Apple iPhone XS Max, and this was created 1703, September 29th, 2020. Again, from the Notepad, Notes app. Apple iPhone XS Max, created on 1703 on September 29th, 2020.
I.
Again, from the Notes app.
Russ,
It's a manufacturer's Apple iPhone XS Max. Date and time is September 29th, 2020 at 1703.
J.
Again, from the Notes app. Again, it was Apple iPhone XS Max, September 29th at 1703, 2020.
Okay, let me just pause you for a second. At the top of this photo of a text message, there appears to be a phone number, correct?
Yes, ma'am. It'll
You
be,
may not know. Do you know who that phone number belongs to?
I'm not sure, no.
100K.
$100K. That is also a link from the Notepad app, or Notes app. And this also came from an iPhone XS Max on September 29th, 2020 at 1703.
L.
Again, from the Notes app, and it's also an Apple iPhone XS Max. The date and time is September 29th, 2020, 1703. Again, from the Notes app, Apple iPhone XS Max. This was at September 29th, 2020 at 1704.
N.
again from the Notes app. This is also from an Apple iPhone XS Max. This was at 9/29, or September 29th, 2020, at 17:04.
So far, pretty much all on the same day around the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Again, this is also from the Apple iPhone XS Max. This was September 29th, 2020 at 17:06. All right, again, from the Notes app, this is the Apple iPhone, it's from Apple iPhone XS Max. And date and time original was September 29th, 2020 at 17:06. Q is also from the Notes app. It was also an Apple iPhone XS Max, and the date and time of original is September 29th, 2020 at 17:06. R is also from the Notes app. And it also came from an Apple iPhone XS Max on September 29th, 2020 at 17:07:11.
And last for this set, S.
Okay, this also came from the Notes app. It also came from an Apple iPhone XS Max, date and time September 29th, 2020 at 17:08.
Now approaching with 100 A2 through S2. Were you able to find each of those images on the defendant's phone, which was an iPhone SX Max?
Yes, ma'am.
If you could just look through those and tell me if those, I'll do that.
Okay.
Tell me if those are the excerpts of your,
These
you need those?
go on to you.
Start looking through those. I'll do this.
Yes, these are the excerpts from my report.
And where on the phone did you find those images?
They were in a temporary file that was associated with Safari.
Can you explain what that means?
A temporary file it's where an application will store a file temporarily for it to use. It could be temporarily there until it's downloaded. It could be temporarily there when it's uploaded. But it's just a temporary holding spot for a file.
I think we can go through these a little bit more quickly. I'm sorry, actually, Your Honor already
total paperwork and sheets related to it.
Pretty much around the same time. I mean, that's been probably better to ask about, but I think they're all about the same time.
I'm just gonna check that, just in terms of, I don't know if there's been a proper foundation laid for the timing of these, creation of these documents. I don't, so I just, I'll make that objection, Your Honor. But without that, otherwise, you can let me know, but I'm objecting on that basis for the record.
All right, State's Exhibits 100A2 through 100S2 are admitted evidence of the defendant's objection.
Let me clarify one thing before we go through those. These photos are just the photos from the IMGBB.co links that were in the notepad, correct? Not from any sort of
Correct.
communication. Okay, so we'll try and go through this a little bit more quickly. And does each exhibit show when the particular image was created?
So far, yes.
This is my point.
Yes.
Your Honor.
Yeah, so what I'm asking is, can we just fast forward to the third page of each exhibit? Okay. So 100 page series.
This will be 5:01 p.m. on September 29th, 2020.
And so can you just describe for the jury sort of like the layout of the screen and where you're finding created?
Okay. Right here, under images is where it was, is the timestamp, the capture time. It shows that this right here, this application ID right here, this long 7FE79950. If you will scroll up, please. It shows that that's the mobile application ID for Safari. Okay, scroll back down, please. So it's found in that Safari folder, in a temp folder, and the name is actually the same on the device as it is on the IMGBB website, with the format that IMDb uses. Does throw in a couple extra hashes, but all the digits are the same, and the hash mark.
Okay, and are these, when was this created?
This was created on 9/29/2020 at 17:01.
September 29th?
September 29th, 17:01.
Okay. B2. And if, just to kind of make this more efficient, if there is one where it's not in the temporary files, but I think you said they all were, but if we can just
Yes.
jump to the created.
Again, this one was in the same temporary folder, and it was created on September 29th, 2020 at 17:01.
See? No, C2, sorry. My fault, C2. When was this created?
Again, September 29th, 2020, 17:01, 41.
Also stored in the temporary?
Also stored in the temporary. The naming is the same as the IMGBB.
B?
All right.
E2. E2.
Again, same camera make, camera model, created on September 29th, 2020, 17:01, and 50 seconds.
E?
Created September 29th, 2020 at 17:02:01.
F? F is the record.
Again, camera make Apple iPhone XS Max, September 29th, 2020 at 17:02.
G2?
September 29th, 17:03, 2020.
E?
September 29th, 2020 at 17:03.
I? 2?
Created on September 29th, 2020 at 17:03:29.
J2?
Again, this is created on September 29th, 2020 at 17:03:36.
K? 2? K2?
September 29th, 2020 at 17:03:46.
L2?
September 29th, 2020 at 17:03:55.
N2?
September 29th, 2020 at 17:04:19.
N2?
September 29th, 17:07:29.
O2? So far, these are all being created within the span of 5 to 10 minutes, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Created September 29th, 2020 at 17:06:01. Created September 29th, 2020 at 5:06:31 p.m. Created September 29th, 2020 at 5:06:51 p.m.
R2.
Created September 29th, 2020 at 5:07:10 p.m.
Your Honor, I'm going to move on to another topic, so I wasn't sure if you wanted to break for lunch.
Yeah, we'll need to go ahead right now.
Oh, I didn't do S? I thought I did. I'm sorry, one more, S too. I apologize, Your Honor. One more.
September 29th, 2020, 5:08:11 p.m.
Sorry, now I'm moving on to a new topic. You want to break?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and break for lunch. We can go ahead and jury box. We do have lunch in before we begin today. We'll come back at about 2 o'clock and resume this. Don't discuss the case even among yourselves. Have a good lunch and we'll see you back at 2 o'clock.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, just a housekeeping action. Excuse the file, she's never required to, but it would be, if we're gonna have this again, if I got a chance before or during lunch to see what's next for him. It's gonna be voluminous, I'm sure we'll take it from the jury, if he has it, let's do it, if not, it's fine.
Well,
So,
I'll be together, whatever y'all work out. Do fine.
Okay.
All right?
Judge, on planning, are we gonna go through the day, all day, so we need to be
Now,
prepared?
we're going to be coming back next week, so I'm not, this jury's, we'll be breaking a little bit early. All right?
The rest of it should be shorter, Your Honor. This was kind of the large majority of this testimony.
I mean, put it this way, I don't know what time we're going to break for the day, but if you're coming back next week, next Tuesday anyway, there's no need to keep the jury here late this evening. All right?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you.